right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the International Red Fashion Experience, and the show today is Feeling Guilty. You see it on there, Feeling Guilty. And the reason why I named this show that is because I realize that sometimes we feel guilty about things. People try to make you feel guilty if you don't feel guilty, but don't feel guilty because that's like worry. You're worried about something that you can't do anything about. They make you feel guilty because it's something that already happened, and they make you feel like, well, you should do this or you should do that. Within yourself, don't feel guilty because if you did what you could when it was time to do it, or you made the decision that you made to have what it is that you had done, then don't worry about it. Because it's like this. You do what you can while you can and when you can. And besides that, it's like this. You get like this. You should learn from something that you've done or a decision that you made so you don't feel guilty about it down the line. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you do the best you can, you know what I'm saying? And you did all you could, say to be good to your mother, you know what I mean? And then she passed away, and you think back and say, well, I did what I could do for her when she was around. I was there for her. I was there. I spent as much time as I could when I was in town or whatever, however. And then be thankful and be grateful and think about the good. Never think about the bad, you see? And then you feel that way. And always think positive and think of the good things. And like say, or for instance, if you had a daughter or someone that you haven't been close to or whatever, and you might have did what you could at the time that you did it, and then you made mistakes along the way, and you weren't there for them or whatever. Well, you know what? That's the past. You can't change that. You have to go on with your life from this point on. Don't feel guilty. Don't let them make you feel guilty about how things went, because it's always now. They can start a fresh start now and make things right or whatever it is, or do what you got to do to be the best you can be now, and don't feel guilty or worry about what happened in the past or whatever may have been or whatever, because you can't change that. It's like anything else. You have to do what you do, be the best you can be. You understand? And don't let people put you on a guilt trip. People will put you on guilt trips as well. To say things make you feel guilty and all that. And what you do when they do that, you think within yourself and say, I'll be the best I could be. And I'm not going to be nobody for nobody else. I'm not going to let nobody else sway my opinion or how I feel about something or whatever it may be. Because they put guilt trips on you. People do that. They'll put a guilt trip on you to make you feel like you could have been a better friend. You could have been a better, you could have did more for them or more for, you know what I mean? How they put you on these trips, and how you have to look at it is, hey, you're doing exactly what you want to do and you're being exactly who you want to be. So you don't worry, you understand me, about none of that. When you're the best person you can be, and you're shining bright and you're looking good in your life, and you're happy, that's what counts. Do all you can to be the best you can be so you don't have to worry about feeling guilty. And then you don't feel guilty because you look at it like, these people try to make you bring back things that happened years ago, and try to make you feel bad, when you might have been messing up or doing whatever you did back at that time. You can't change that. You can never do nothing to change. The past can never be changed. Accept it for what it is as a learning experience and keep on stepping. If you learn from the experience that you had, whether it was a catastrophe or whatever it was, something that happened, if you made it and you're here standing to talk about it, feel good about that and learn it chop it up as a learning lesson. And as long as you prospered and you gained, then it's a blessing. It's a learned lesson that you turned into a blessing, because behind that experience made you the person that you are today, a better person that you are. Just like things you did, you might have went to the joint penitentiary and look at that as a learning lesson. If you learned from that and was a better person when you came out of that, they don't feel guilty about it, because it's like anything. People get an education in different ways, different places, in different circumstances. If you're in a fast life and you got slowed down by going to the joint and it was a profitable situation, then that's why you have to look at it. You gain from that and keep on stepping, because when you're in there, life still goes on outside. People are still doing what they're doing, and people are still living and living their life. And if you got people that have regrets and guilt and all that, no, don't never be guilty about nothing, because there's nothing you can do about it. You can't change what has happened. You know. You can be remorseful, you can be hurtful, or whatever it is, or have some type of ill feelings about something that you did that might have been, detrimental to somebody. But the point of it is, you can't change none of that. You have to keep living your life. If you live your life in misery, that's not going to help the people, you know what I mean, that you wronged. That's not helping them, or whatever you did at the time back in the past. As long as God forgives you, then you got to forgive yourself and keep on going, you understand? Because the thing about it is that you have to be the best you can be and live the best life you can. And if you make it to be 72 like me, I'll be 72 next week. And if you make it to be 72 and you got your health and you got your happiness and you're blessed and you're thankful and you're grateful, man, that's all you can do. And don't have a mate, you understand me, that you straight with, then you got a perfect combination. Man, and hey, what can I say? I'm happy. And I'm not going to let nothing, guilt trip or nothing, no other kind of trip set me back. But people do that to try to interfere with your peace of mind and happiness. Other people that do that, And these people are haters. These are haters. Like people that say something about you need to have a car, you should have this, you should have that. How's somebody else going to tell you what you need or what you're supposed to have? They want you to, you know what I mean? They want to evaluate you with somebody else. They want you to have what this other person has just because they might be the same age you are. No, they struggled, they worked hard, they got credit, they got all these good things that they built up throughout their life. They haven't lived the same life you lived, so therefore you can't accept the same results. It's like people in a race and you start at different gates. It don't pan out to be the same race. People have different finish lines, people have different starting gates. So you can't compare your life or nobody else's life to no one else's. And that's where people try to put you on a guilt trip by trying to compare you with somebody else of the same age as you, and not having been where you've been at and not went through what you've been through. Like adversity to see the greater benefit. When you went through adversity, you know what I mean, you've been through alcoholism, drug addiction, and all these things, then you overcome that to get to where you're at to a certain level. 28 years clean, then you got something to be thankful and grateful for. And that's a lane you're in by yourself. You're not in that lane with no one else. So when you're setting a race and you're setting the pace, you're in that race by yourself, not with no one else. And that's what people have to understand. Here you are a person, you overcame weight gain, you overcame cancer, you overcame abuse, you overcame rape, you overcame all these different things that set you back, adversity, and you come out on the other end shining bright with happiness on your side, then you should be applauded. You understand what I'm saying? Not compared to another person that's of the same age bracket. You got another person over here that hasn't been nothing, had a smooth life. But they don't appreciate things as much as you do because you've seen setbacks to make you have a comeback, to make you have happiness, because you have to go through something to appreciate something. And a lot of people don't understand that philosophy because they never lost anything. Like I told you, the guy that had a mansion and a Rolls Royce and all this stuff, and he was about to lose that, and he was in misery. And all he was going to do, all he had to do was downsize. But that's how people fall apart, because they value material things rather than value what really is important, because they lose sight of what's important because they never lose anything or they never been in a situation to appreciate something. That's why they call rich kids spoiled rich kids. They spoil because they have the worst attitude about things, no appreciation for the things, that simple things that another person might be so happy about and have a happy life. Here this person has it all and they want to jump off the roof of a building. When the easiest thing that goes wrong with them. They haven't been toughened up, you understand? Toughened up through experiences, being out on your own, sleeping on the bus, you understand me, sleeping in the pool hall, doing all kind of things that you did to make you a stronger and a tougher person, which is what you have to, you have to build that strong character so you can deal with life, you understand me, at its terms, because a lot of times people that haven't been through anything, they they're the weakest and the least have the least strength when it comes to being a leader and of being taking charge of their lives. They don't realize that. You understand me? Because they've never been challenged. You know what I mean? The challenges in life, the things you go through. You got these people that talk that tough talk, but it don't mean nothing if you haven't really walked through it. And know how to do it. You should just, you know what I mean, just sit back and observe and relax. If you haven't really been in the streets and you want to talk about the streets like it's something, yeah, it's a degree to get in the streets and make it through the streets when you're in the streets. It's a degree you get, but it's different levels of the street. It's being a player in the streets. It's being a gangster in the streets. It's being, you got different levels and different things and different environments in the streets to where, the streets are not just the streets. It's different levels of the streets, you know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that either, when they say they've been in the streets, But it's a different thing than somebody that's been in a house and in the suites and stayed in there and never, been on the street any kind of way. You know what I mean? And they got a degree in something, you know what I mean? And they didn't get it from the sidewalks of life, Education that way, you know what I'm saying? It's different than the one that they get, It's just like when you been to the penitentiary or you've been certain places and you come out and you win in life and you got a more appreciation for life because of that. And some of these people, the more time they do, the more they appreciate, but that ain't got nothing to do with it. If you do a year in the pen or 2 years in the pen, you're in the pen long enough to learn that you don't want to go back to the pen. You learn enough the way you don't want to go back and you want to stay out and you learn to gravitate to that to where you change and turn your life around. Like me, I did that 3 years. When I got out, I ended up, you understand me, having to run away from work, at least walk away, and be on my own for 10 years on the run. Not doing nothing wrong, not getting no trouble that's going to cause me any kind of conflict. And I stayed out that long until I used my own name and got myself together. I didn't feel guilty or feel bad. I just felt like this. I don't want to be running no more. I told myself I didn't want to run no more, so I used my own name. No, I know eventually it was going to come around where I was going to have to face whatever I had to deal with, and that was the time that it happened. And by that, everything was stripped from me when I went to the joint that time. But that was another challenge and strength that took me back to where I had to start over at that time. You know what I mean? And I was drinking, and I was in a position where I was falling off anyway. By me going back to drinking at the time that my mother was sick. And then when I went to the joint for that, I only did a year, and I got out, and then I fell down and got to drinking again. And then when I got back clean that next time, I knew I was ready. I knew exactly what I had to do, and I've been clean ever since then up until this day. And that's 28 years. 28 years now. You understand? That's damn near 30 years with the 10 I had before that. That's 40. I mean, think about it. That's damn near 40 years I got clean altogether. You understand? When I think about the 10 years I lost in my body and everything else, that cleanness counts when it comes to your health. That 10 years counted when it comes to health-wise. It doesn't count in AA and A and all that, but it counts as far as my health goes, because that saves your liver. Think about how much saving my liver has been saved, by being clean like that, and I was able to get everything together and take care of business, But it's like I say, you have to change your life. You have to get away from the people that you was with. Like when I was messing with prostitutes and being on the street and messing with the fast life, that was going to take me down because cause and effect. Being around those people and being around that, eventually I was going to be tore down anyway, And I kind of knew it in the back of my head, when I was on the run. I kind of knew there was something was going to get me caught up. But I'm just thankful that I got caught up like I did, and I didn't get no new case or nothing. Didn't happen. It could have happened. It could have washed me away, and I could have been washed away for years behind certain things, certain people that tried to cross me. I was just God was on my side. I was just blessed. And he was thankful. He knew I was a good person, and he set me free and let me be all the way with harmony. But that's why I don't feel guilty, because, I did what I did. And I did it when I wanted to do it. I enjoyed it to a certain degree, so I got to look at it as part of the past and look at that as part of my experience and keep on going forward and growing and glowing. And don't let that hold you back, you know what I'm saying? You think to yourself, well, hey, that's who I was then. I'm somebody else now. I don't glorify the game or the fast life no more. I'm on another page. I don't look at that as something to look up to, something to look that's cute. I don't look at that as being cute. Ain't nothing cute about that. Ain't nothing cute about the fast life. You know, it's nothing cute about that. You know what I'm saying? The game. Being a player, boss player was cool. Because when I was a boss player, I was independent, handling my own business, you know, being independent. And I was just buying and selling, you know what I mean? In a sense, I'm playing for the money. There wasn't really nothing wrong with that. That's a way of life. When you're having a young woman sell her body, man, that's not good. That's not good at all. I don't glorify that. I don't feel guilty about it because at the time that I did it, that we did it, when it counted, the first time, it was like, it was a way of life and it was a way out of the ghetto and a way out to, it was before AIDS and before that type of stuff. You know, it was before AIDS, you know, and the hippies had free love and all that. So it was a different time, so I don't feel bad about it back at that particular, before then. But what I feel bad about was after, when AIDS and all that came out, and then it was detrimental to, you know, have sex, you know what I mean, promiscuous sex. It wasn't like a thing for you to be trying to do or glorify, you know what I'm saying? It was not good, you know, because people looked at it like this. They look at it like, here you are, you understand me? You know, you're supposed to advance it to another level. You know, people want to use pimping and use that finality. Oh, it's pimping this. Oh, it's pimping that. No, it's not. It's boss playing or it's another level. What it is, pimping is when you have a prostitute. There's no ifs and buts about it. They can say what they want to say. They can justify it and put it in other ways. But that's exactly what it is, and that's not a good thing to be glorifying or talking about. That's why I don't use that word. I'd rather use that word anymore. I don't use it. You know, people say that, but I don't use it, and I don't acknowledge it because, to me, that's not something to be looking up to, not acknowledging. You know, I don't look at it like that. It's not something to you be thinking it's cute. You know, people be thinking, oh, he thinks that's cute. No, I don't think it's cute, and I don't think you should think it's cute because it's something that a person should not glorify. You know, I don't feel guilty about none of the things I did. I just advance and I don't use that terminology, and I don't try to identify with that type of those people on that side of the tracks. You know, I'm a player now. I'm a boss player. I'm always going to be a boss player. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that was what I did more than anything. But I just would always be like the rest of the people when I call myself a pimp and all that. But no. When I realize what's really going on, I don't feel guilty about it. I just don't acknowledge it. I don't speak on it. I don't try to tell these young people, like these people be trying to tell these young people how to pimp in 2024. And these people did that shit in 1974. You know, I mean, hey, you can't, it's two different worlds. So when you try to tell people, they'll listen to you because they're looking at your experience and your knowledge, but it's a different world now. A person my age couldn't tell you how to do something when we did it, because when we did it, it was a whole different thing. It was a respect thing, and it was honored and respected that part of the game. People looked up to it because it was a opportunity, and the black man was limited on what he could do and get away with. You know what I'm saying? So it was like back at that particular time. You understand what I'm saying? That was something that was glorified. Being a pimp was better than being a dope dealer, but neither one of them were any good. Right now, I don't look at neither one of them as anything that I'd be proud of. You know, but I don't feel guilty about the life I lived or what I did, because one thing, I never dealt dope, and I never forced a woman to go out on the street. So therefore, I can't really feel bad about that. You know, so I don't feel guilty. You know what I mean? It's all a volunteer situation, but the point of it is, you got people that try to make you feel bad, you understand? If I felt bad, I wouldn't look the way I look, you understand what I'm saying? I would look like a square. No, I look like the person that I am, a boss player, you understand me? Not a square. Nowhere like a square. I don't want to never look like a square because I never been a square. I never had a job. I never worked. I ain't got nothing against working. Because right now, I would tell a person in a minute, get you a job, you understand me, and be your best self. That's what I would tell a person to do, is to go get a job. I would never tell them to do anything other than that, because it's like this. You have to look at the situation for what it really is. You know, you have to look at life. You know what I mean? and look at it in a situation where you want to be your best self. You want to handle things in the best way, you know, and you want to be grateful and thankful, you know what I mean, for what you got going for yourself in life, you know. And it's like this: don't feel guilty, never feel guilty. You know what I mean? Think about what you did and how you did it and why you did it. You know what I mean? And own up to it. And don't let other people make you feel guilty about you didn't spend enough time with your mother, or you didn't spend enough time with your ex-wife, whatever, whatever you did to make it, and they want to make you feel guilty about something you did or didn't do. No, it's over with. It's the past. You can't do nothing about it. You can't change what it is that you did or what you did. You can't do nothing about that. You got to go forward and keep on going and make better choices in your future and better choices now in your time, and be the best you can be. That's what you have to do. Be the best you can be, and people can accept you for who you are and what you are. Don't let them try to put you on a guilt trip or try to make you feel bad, because that's what haters will do that in a minute. Haters do that. People that hate you because you're so content, you're so happy, you're so peaceful. They don't have the happiness and the peace of mind that you have, so they want to deprive you of yours because they don't have that. And it don't cost something. It's just a matter of you making your mind up to be who you want to be and be the thoughts you think and what you value in your life. And it all gravitates toward each other. You know what I mean? But you cannot have guilt and all them trips that people try to put you on. You can't pay them people no mind. Like somebody try to make me tell me about some 30, 40 years ago, something I did back then. Not identifying all the good I'm doing now. They don't know about that. They want to speak back 30, 40 years ago when they were associated with you and mention something like that. And here you are, a totally different person now. But that's okay, because you know why? You have to look at the fact that that's what people do. They bring things up. You know what I mean? Things that they did, or they look at you, what you gonna do. And try to make you feel bad about it. And like me, for instance, people look at you different. Like they didn't know you look like this, and they don't think you clean. They don't think you clean and sober. Because you're supposed to look. How does a clean and sober person look? Is he supposed to look like a square conservative, or can he look like this and be clean and sober? I mean, here they don't believe. They think that I'm indulging in something. And the point of it is, I don't care what they think. It don't bother me. I don't feel bad about them. But the idea is when they say, "Man, I didn't know you had 27 years clean," or whatever. It's like I don't ever tell people that. Because you know why? It's none of their business. I don't care. I don't want them to judge me on that alone. Because if they judge you by that, then they're being superficial, because judge a person by how he acts and what he does. And if he looks good because he looks good, and he looked that way all his life, whether he was high or whether he was sober, that's what he did, then that's what he did. Give him credit where credit is due. Don't try to guilt trip him like, "Oh man, I didn't know you was clean and sober." Why would you think that? Because I look slick, I look like a player. You think being a player, you got to be high, and all that type of stuff. I mean, I had 10 years clean, and I looked like this, and I was a player, and did all the playing things that you do, but get high. So I mean, I don't justify it like that. I don't even look at it in that situation. But people do, and they try to put you on a guilt trip, because it's a conventional way people look at things and people, and whatever it is, So if you look good, they think you're going somewhere. It's a special occasion. No, it's all special occasion every day. Every time I dress up and get up, it's a special occasion. And if they didn't know it, they will know it, because I let them know, by the way I go. You understand what I'm saying? The things I do. I'll be sharp as I can be each and every day, each and every way. And that's how I do it, man. But I don't know. I don't try to deal with people that are phony, people that are, that talk about other people and try to put people, judge people, put them in categories. Man, that ain't necessary. You ain't got to do that. And don't put me on a guilt trip, because they'll try to put you on a guilt trip and make you feel guilty about something. You know what I mean? And you ain't feeling that way. You being the best you can be. You living now, and you preparing for the future to live the future when it comes around. The past is over, and past is over, and past is done. And you do the best you can for that particular time and keep on going. Don't feel guilty or don't feel bad about something that you didn't do, that you could have did better, or whatever it could have been. or whatever the situation could have been, or whatever. However you apply it, you be your best self. And that's all you can do is be your best you can be, you understand? And gravitate toward winning, you understand? Being on the winning note. You know, being a champion, you understand? Being great. Victorious, you understand? And you be that way, the way you look, the way you act, the way you know, the way you are. That's the way you have to be, you understand? No other way. You be that way and, you know, you win it. You know, and you ain't got to identify with those people that are guilty, people that want to put you on a guilt trip, people that are haters, that are jealous. They want to put you in that position because they don't feel good when they see you. They know you look good. They can look at you and see you feel good. The way you look is a reflection of goodness. And good and everything that is good. Just by looking at you, one sight, they see it all. So that's going to make them mad because they feel bad. So they're going to say something negative. They're going to say something to try to put you on a guilt trip. Or say something if they know you any kind of way. You know, oh, why you ain't got a car? Oh, man, you know, this or that, like you did a car. Struggling trying to pay a car for what? And you got some, you got your lady got a car, you got transportation when you need to go somewhere. And you in the city where the buses run fast and quick. You think I'm worried about what people think of me? If I get on the bus, I'm gonna feel bad? No, I don't think so. I jump on the bus in a minute. I've been through all that. I rented a car, you understand what I'm saying, just to prove to myself I could drive again when I first got my license. I did all that, you know, I got the car, drove, did what I had to do, you understand what I'm saying, to combat the situation so people realize, oh, I still got it. I got the car, I drove, and I did. I seen how much money it cost, and what it did, I didn't do that no more. And then when I rented it to go to an event, nobody wanted to help me even put gas in the car. So I said, no, I'm not even doing it. So I take it easy. I easily do it now. I don't let pressure, no kind of way, interfere with me what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna do it. I go somewhere if I can. If I'm going with somebody, if I don't go. And I don't let it. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel guilty, and I don't trip off of it. You know, if it's a funeral somewhere I gotta go and I don't make it, then I just don't make it. I don't feel bad. I don't feel guilt tripping, and ain't gonna let nobody guilt trip me. Not me. If it's for me to do it, it'll be done. If it's not, it won't, and I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, I'm not gonna guilt trip about it either. You know, and if it was a situation that I really needed to go, you know, I got a woman. Bam, I call my woman. She'll be there in a second. But it's something that not that serious. I'm not gonna guilt trip and let somebody else guilt trip me. Because I got other friends I could have got in touch with if I wanted to. But I said, if he don't go, I'm not going. And that's how I did it. And that's where it ended up. And that's it, and that's all. So I didn't trip off of it. You know, it's like, that's how you have to do things like that. And don't let other people, you know, guilt trip you and have you feeling bad about something that you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? When you're doing the best you can do, the best you want to do, and you're appreciating life for what it is, and you're living your best life. You live your best life. And if you live your best life, then you're living all right. And that's it, and that's all. And that's all you got to worry about, man. You don't let them other people get you down, you understand what I'm saying? You stay down, you don't let nobody get you down. You know? And you live your best life. You know, and live it to your best of your ability. And don't be tripping off guilt. Don't let nobody put you on a guilt trip. You know what I'm saying? You keep being who you are. If it's beneficial to you. And all the people that talk negative about people and all that, I try to limit my time talking to them. Sometimes I don't even want to talk to them. I don't feel bad about it. You know, some people I need to talk to, they've been calling me, but I ain't talking to them because I don't feel right. Because I don't want to get to tripping off of what they're talking about because they go back so many years that you really don't want to hear about it. Because that's part of the past, something that you dealing with now. You're dealing with the future. You're dealing with today. You ain't trying to deal with yesterday. If you're dealing with today and tomorrow, getting ready for tomorrow, then you're going to be optimistic and going to be on a happy note. You know, you don't need to be dragged back into some stuff that's negative. And some people, that's all they got to talk about because they're not doing nothing now. So all they have is the past. If you're not doing nothing today, then you ain't going to have nothing to talk about for tomorrow or down because you ain't doing nothing now. But if you're doing something now, that's what you want to talk about right now and what's going on now. And that's how I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. And this is International Red's Fashion Experience. And the subject today was guilty, feeling guilty. Let's don't feel guilty. Let's let that go. Let guilt go, and let's let it be known that hey, We want to be the ones to be the star of our show. Star of our show. Maybe star of your own show.